Welcome to The Blueprint, a journey of self-discovery intended to reconnect you to yourself and remind you that all the answers you seek, you hold within. The Blueprint is a journey which intends to bridge the gaps of access to self-healing. Over the course of 11 core episodes, we will explore radically different ways of thinking, where science meets spirituality meets self-love. The Blueprint is a hack to fast-track your consciousness and realign you with your soul. I'm Marley Finnegan, creator of The Blueprint, seeker of seekers, mother, intuitive healer, and lover of Mother Earth. Welcome to The Blueprint, Part 1, All is Energy. Energy is the baseline of all things. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That's a famous quote by Nikola Tesla. All things exist and are created from energy. The energy of an electron is the same order of magnitude as the energy of light. At a most basic level, all things in existence are made up of cells which require energy to function. Our bodies are made of these cells and in a state of constant varied energetic transmutation, intaking air, water, emotions, environments, music, and all other forms of intake energies to enable our body's complex and innate functioning. Our thinking processes, both conscious and subconscious, emit vibrational frequencies. According to quantum physics, our thoughts create our reality. Within that theory, everything that we see and experience is a product of a type of thought energy. We are all connected through an energetic field called the collective consciousness, which responds to our thoughts and emotions by creating reality. Again, that's quantum theory. Energy comes from four main wellsprings in human beings: our bodies, emotions, mind, and spirit. We are very familiar with the concept of our body, mind, and spirit, but did you ever consider that your emotions are energy, deriving from your experiences, either flowing through your body or remaining within it? Here we will dive into the vital energies of various aspects of being human. We will start at the pinnacle, the energy of love, our ever-present compass. Love is the highest vibrational form of energy and emotion which humans access. There are varying levels of this love, and divine oneness or kundalini awakenings are exceptionally high variations of this love. Love does not need anything external to validate it or be felt. Love is fully and infinitely available to us within. Love doesn't have limitations to its definition or its ability to exist. Love is the divine connection to all things, including ourselves and others. Love is the beauty in and of existence. Each time that we choose to see, feel, or lead with love over fear, positivity over negativity, and gratitude over scarcity, we are actively creating energy within as well as sending out ripples of energy throughout, which can touch lives, change moods, and shape events. So here are some questions to reflect upon your feelings and thoughts about energy. How would you describe your energy over your lifetime? What does energy mean to you? Do you ever feel like you are searching for something? What does the concept of your emotions, words, and thoughts as energies make you feel? What do you wish for your energy? Our emotions are energy. Emotions themselves are forms of energy which are not to be used as tools of self-judgment against ourselves. This is what much of society and generationally we have been taught to believe and feel, including shame, guilt, and pain associated with feeling our emotions. Our emotions are the body's way of telling us that we are somatically experiencing something, whether it derives in the present moment, past, or anticipated future. When we're able to observe our emotions without judgment, they can pass through us naturally, as our bodies are created and designed to do this. When you're feeling elated or excited, you're vibrating at a higher frequency. On the other hand, when you're sad or depressed, your vibrational frequency can drop. However, this is not at all meant to instill in us any type of desire to maintain joy or happiness and bypass these lower vibrational emotions. It is essential to feel these feelings in order to heal ourselves. We as humans are designed to feel all of our feelings and experience all emotions, as it is part of our chosen experience on earth to move through these learnings. The trick is that when we avoid our feelings or uncomfortable emotions, we can subconsciously invite these feelings to remain in our bodies as stuck energies. Emotional frequencies can be measured, and what's even more intriguing, they can impact our physical health as well. We're going to talk about the energy of our thoughts. Imagination is everything. It's the preview of life's coming attractions, said Albert Einstein. The idea that thoughts are energy is deeply rooted in both ancient practices and modern science. When we say everything is energy, we're not just talking about physical objects or the universe at large. Our mind and the thoughts that we create or arise within it carry a specific energetic signature, which we can work with to affect conscious practices aimed at the specific origins of our continual or persistent thoughts and patterns. We will dive further into this in part 3, Understanding the Mind. But observing our thoughts and emotions with neutrality, so essentially with empathy for ourselves, rather than judging or ignoring them, is key to how we continue to move through these energies. It's important to implement this observation on your inner voice and your inner voice about others. So how you think, feel, and speak about yourself, and how you think, feel, and speak about others. Our thoughts and the emotions they trigger are not just fleeting or ephemeral. They have tangible effects on our body, on our energy, and on the world around us. Harnessing the power of understanding this trifecta of aligning our thoughts, our emotions, and our words is the key to truly understanding aligned energy. Aligned energy is the energy of creation. Now, intrusive thoughts are real. They happen to all people. The key is tracing them back to their root to see why and where they reside. See it with empathy and kindness as it tries to keep you safe in some way. Anything that you fight with or struggle against grows larger. We can give power to lower energies by focusing on them or avoiding them. You don't eliminate darkness by arguing with it. The only way to eliminate darkness is to turn on a light. It's a quote by Doreen Virtue. The importance of the energy of our words and observing our words is that our words create ripple effects and are 1/3 of that trifecta of creation. They are the physical manifestation of our thoughts and emotions into reality. It is important in this phase of energetic understanding that we begin to habitually observe our words along with our thoughts and emotions. The essential nature of non-judgment of ourselves is crucially important. Giving ourselves grace as we begin to see these aspects of self that we may have been avoiding. Judgment adds another layer of harshness onto ourselves. So when we begin to observe these aspects and we add judgment, it just compounds the layers. It's the opposite of what we are seeking to do. A mantra to remember for oneself is to give yourself grace as you create this new space for your mind, heart, and energy. Meditation is a supremely important and amazing modality to begin to observe your thoughts, your emotions, and your words. I did an event probably a decade ago at a meditation center. And at that point, I thought there was no way I could ever slow my mind down. I could ever, I had a lot of limiting beliefs about my own capacity to quiet my mind. And frankly, I was running from a lot of things in my own mind. I was invited to join the meditation, and the first thing that the teacher said was, meditation is not about quieting your mind. It's actually about allowing your mind to be free without judgment. That changed my perspective, because essentially what our mind needs to move, to observe, is freedom. And ultimately, our limitation of our own minds is limitation of ourselves. So here's a quote on meditation from The Artist's Way. We meditate to discover our own identity, our right place in the scheme of the universe. Through meditation, we acquire and eventually acknowledge our connection to an inner power source that has the ability to transform our outer world. In other words, meditation gives us not only the light of insight, but also the power for expansive change. When we observe positive versus negative thinking, it's not about good or bad. Our thoughts fundamentally affect how we perceive, interact, and react to our world around us. So when we're in a positive state, that inspires growth, it boosts resilience, it enhances our well-being, and it also attracts more positivity. Like attracts like, and this can magnetize positive circumstances and people. Conversely, negative thinking and the gift of observation of that, it can limit our growth, it can lower our resilience, it can deteriorate our well-being, and it can attract more of the same. So pessimism can beget self-fulfilling prophecies about ourselves or expected failure. Now, we don't want to avoid negative thoughts. We want to observe them. Consistently leaning into positive thought patterns can boost our moods, but it's not in our best interest to limit our minds to only the positive. Research shows that individuals with an optimistic outlook have better cardiovascular health, stronger immune systems, and longer lifespans. However, we must not criminalize ourselves or our thoughts for negative thought patterns. There are major societal narratives around fear and scarcity as it relates to money and security, which can create and reinforce negative thought patterns within us. The energetics of love versus fear and scarcity are important to address. When we look at the love within our hearts, that feeling grows. When we look at our lives with gratitude, abundance grows. When we look at our lives through a lens of fear or scarcity or lack, those feelings can also grow. Yet when we look at our fear, our pain, or trauma through the lens of loving empathy, this is how those energies dissipate. The concept of the divine feminine and divine masculine energies is also interesting to address relative to this topic. There are references to spiritual concepts which transcend gender and relate to the interplay of specific qualities within each individual, every person, no matter the gender, as well as the collective consciousness of humanity, carry a frequency of both the divine feminine and divine masculine. The divine feminine encompasses qualities like nurturing, intuition, compassion, receptivity, rest, and creativity. It embodies energies of empathy, emotional intelligence, and the ability to hold space for others. It is not about passivity, but rather the power of vulnerability, empathy, and connectedness. The divine masculine represents aspects such as strength, logic, action, protection, and assertiveness. It embodies qualities such as drive, focus, and stability. It's not necessarily about dominance or control, but proper expressions of power and leadership. There is an energetic imbalance driving our current system state of affairs, and there is a balance within each and every one of us, which ideally is recalibrated and maintained. We must not judge this, but rather observe ourselves and the feelings around this. I, for much of my life, almost upon learning about the divine feminine and divine masculine, had this almost guilt or perceived imbalance within myself where, because I was an athlete and because, I was always very driven, and essentially I almost criminalized myself with this information and education that I had some sort of imbalance of the divine feminine. It wasn't until I wrote this and really until I embraced all aspects of what the divine feminine means and that acknowledgement that I embody all of those aspects with grace, that I was able to also, reclaim that part of myself. So it's really important with this work and this learning that we not use any aspects of this to judge ourselves, criminalize ourselves, or essentially find any reason to create lack or not enoughness as a judgment of self. We all are energetic beings in constant states of fluctuation of our frequency in all parts of us. And this work is bringing a lens to that. So we're grateful that you're here. And this is the end of part 1. Thank you for choosing yourself. The work to return to yourself is some of the hardest work you can do. We believe everyone is intuitive, creative, and always connected to their own divine highest power. When we invest in ourselves and our consciousness, we are raising the frequency of humanity. What we do in the highest good of our souls, we do for the highest good of all. We've designed experiences for you to continue in your exploration of these topics, which are on a pay-what-you-can basis. Find customized meditations, journal prompts, rituals, and abundant resources at the link in our bio or theblueprintwithin.com.